Success starts when you stop looking outward and start focusing on yourself. Winning in life means paying attention to your own growth, habits, and mindset every day. When you focus on your strengths and weaknesses honestly, you create a clear path forward. Ignoring distractions and putting your energy into becoming your best self builds confidence and opens new doors. Today, we will discuss how focusing on yourself can change your life and help you reach your goals faster. You will learn practical steps to develop habits that support your success and create a mindset that pushes you to keep improving. If you're ready to take control of your life and win by focusing on what truly matters, then let's dive in. Number 1, start working on your goals every single day. Most people don't feel stuck because they don't have dreams. They feel stuck because they don't act on them. They wake up every day, carry the same thoughts, do the same things, talk about the same problems, and then wonder why their life isn't changing. They wait. They wait for motivation, for perfect timing, for the right people, the right place. But what they don't realize is this: waiting quietly robs you. It doesn't make your life easier. It makes your life smaller. If you don't move toward your goals every single day, you move further away from them. There is no pause button in life. You're either building something or you're letting it fall apart. When you wake up in the morning and you don't have something you're chasing, life starts to feel heavy. That's when doubt creeps in. That's when fear takes over. That's when the mind begins to play games. And the longer you avoid your goals, the more your confidence slips. Every time you choose comfort over effort, you lose trust in yourself. And if you can't trust yourself to follow through, how can you believe in your future? You don't need to have it all figured out to start. You don't need a detailed plan or a step-by-step blueprint. What you need is the decision to begin, the commitment to keep going, the courage to wake up, even when you're tired, even when you feel behind, even when it doesn't look like it's working, and still show up for what matters. That's what builds strength. That's what builds self-respect. If you want to win in life, you've got to put your goals on the calendar. Not someday, not when it's convenient. Every single day. Because the truth is, nobody is coming to do it for you. You can have all the talent in the world. You can have potential. But if you don't put in the time, the effort, the daily push, nothing changes. Results don't show up because you wish for them. They show up because you show up. One day at a time. 1 hour at a time. That's how you build momentum. That's how you move forward. Small steps don't feel exciting at first, but they stack up. You don't plant a seed and get a tree the next morning. But if you water it daily, protect it, care for it, it grows. Same goes for your goals. You don't just work hard once and expect success. You stay consistent, especially when it's not easy. That's where the real growth happens. Every morning you have a choice. You can scroll through other people's lives, or you can wake up and start building your own. You can talk about what you want, or you can work for it. And if you're serious about changing your life, your actions will show it. Words are cheap. Intentions are not enough. You don't rise by planning. You rise by doing. It's not about being busy. It's about being focused. Your goal doesn't care how you feel. It only moves when you do. If it matters to you, find a way to do something about it today. Not tomorrow, today. Even if it's small, even if it's messy, even if it's uncomfortable. Progress over perfection. Discipline over distraction. Start your day with a purpose, not with noise. Don't begin by checking who liked your post. Begin by asking, what can I do today that moves me closer to my goal? That's the question that changes everything. Success doesn't show up all at once. It shows up in the daily effort you make when no one is watching. It's built in the silence, in the early mornings, in the late nights, in the hours when no one claps for you. If you only work when you feel like it, you'll never get far. But if you learn to keep going when it's boring, when it's tiring, when it's slow, that's when you become someone who wins. Because the people who win are not the ones who always have the most resources or the most talent. They're the ones who don't quit. You'll be tempted to take shortcuts. You'll be tempted to skip the hard days, but every time you push through, you train your mind to believe in your own power. You show yourself, I don't need permission, I don't need applause, I don't need easy, I need direction, and I need to act on it. Daily, relentlessly, unapologetically. There will be distractions, life will throw things at you. But your goals deserve your attention. They deserve a space in your day, not just in your dreams. Your life moves in the direction of what you do, not what you wish for. Want better health? Train your body. Want to be successful? Sharpen your mind. Want stronger relationships? Put in the effort. Want to grow a business? Take the steps. Every day you wait, someone else is taking the spot you could have earned. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being real. Real about what you want. Real about what it takes. Real about the fact that no one owes you anything but you owe it to yourself to try, to push, to fight for what you said matters. You can look in the mirror and make excuses, or you can look in the mirror and make a promise. One will leave you right where you are. The other will take you places you've never imagined. You don't need a miracle. You don't need luck. You need to decide. You need to stop waiting, stop hesitating, stop talking about it and start doing something about it. Every single day is a chance, not to be perfect, but to be better than yesterday. You don't climb a mountain in a leap. You do it one step at a time, and those steps, they happen daily. They happen when you decide that your goals are more important than your comfort, more important than your distractions, more important than your fears. Discipline is not punishment. It's self-respect. It's telling yourself, I deserve more than what I've been settling for. I deserve to see what happens when I don't give up. And that begins today. Right now, with one step, and another, and another. You don't have to feel ready. You just have to begin. Work on your goals like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. Number 2, stop comparing your journey to someone else's life. Comparison is one of the greatest thieves of joy and progress. Most people look at others and feel small, not because they are actually less, but because they have chosen to measure themselves by someone else's standards. It's a trap that quietly steals your confidence, robs your energy, and keeps you stuck in a place you don't belong. You see a person on social media living their perfect life, and suddenly your own reality feels lacking. You look at their achievements, their possessions, their relationships, and you start to believe that you are falling behind. This belief eats away at your spirit and slows your progress. You think you have to match or beat what they have to be worthy. But here's the truth. Your journey is your journey. It doesn't have to look like anyone else's to be valuable or successful. When you constantly compare, you lose sight of what truly matters, your own growth and your own path. You begin to focus on what you don't have rather than what you can build. This is a dangerous mindset because it creates feelings of envy and dissatisfaction. It makes your accomplishments feel small, no matter how big they are. It causes you to question your worth. But life isn't a race against others. It's a race with yourself. The only person you need to be better than is the person you were yesterday. Understanding that your path is unique frees you to focus on what you can control. Other people's lives are not blueprints for your success. They come with different struggles, opportunities, timing, and resources. What you see on the outside is just a snapshot, a moment in time, often carefully edited. You don't see the late nights, the sacrifices, the doubts, or the failures behind that success. You don't see their starting point or the obstacles they faced. You see only the highlight, and it's unfair to measure your entire journey against someone else's highlight reel. Comparing also feeds the false idea that success is a limited resource. When you believe someone else's success takes away from your chances, you start to compete in the wrong way. You try to copy, mimic, or even sabotage. Instead of celebrating others and learning from them, comparison breeds resentment. But success isn't a pie with fixed slices. There's enough room for everyone. When you focus on your own path, you create your own slice. You build your own version of success that fits your values, strengths, and desires. One of the most freeing things you can do is to stop seeking validation from outside sources. When you stop looking at others for comparison, you begin to listen to your own voice. You start to recognize what truly fulfills you, not what looks impressive to someone else. This internal clarity helps you set goals that resonate deeply with your values and passions, not goals picked because they look good on paper or on Instagram. It helps you build a life that feels authentic and satisfying. The moment you decide to focus on your own progress, you'll notice a shift in your mindset. You'll stop chasing validation and start chasing growth. You'll stop reacting to other people's success stories and start writing your own. Your confidence will grow because it's built on your efforts, not borrowed from someone else's approval. You'll celebrate small victories that are meaningful to you, not just milestones that impress others. It takes courage to stop comparing. It means resisting the urge to scroll endlessly through social media, measuring your worth against polished images. It means learning to be patient with your progress, even if it doesn't look like everyone else's. It means trusting your timing, your process, and your unique strengths. But this courage pays off. When you stop comparing, you free up your mental and emotional energy to focus on what really moves you forward. This doesn't mean you can't be inspired by others. Inspiration is powerful and necessary, but inspiration is different from comparison. Inspiration motivates you to act and improve. Comparison paralyzes you with doubt and jealousy. When you use others as fuel for your own journey rather than a measuring stick for your worth, you unlock your potential. In practical terms, this means setting boundaries around what you expose yourself to. Limit your time on social media or any place that makes you feel less than. When you catch yourself comparing, pause and remind yourself that what you see is incomplete. Replace those thoughts with questions about your own progress. Ask yourself, what did I do today to move closer to my goal? What can I do tomorrow? These questions focus your mind on your own growth, not someone else's. It also means celebrating your wins, no matter how small. When you acknowledge your efforts, you build momentum. You remind yourself that you are capable. You're creating a life that fits you, not someone else's story. When you track your progress in ways that matter to you, whether it's learning a new skill, improving your health, or developing a positive habit, you stay connected to your journey. There will be moments when the urge to compare is strong. That's normal. Everyone faces it. The key is how you respond. When you feel that pull, shift your focus immediately. Look at what you've accomplished. Remind yourself of the hard work you've put in. Reflect on how far you've come. This practice rewires your mind and builds resilience. Comparison also hides the fact that everyone struggles. No one's life is perfect. People have battles, doubts, and setbacks behind the scenes. When you realize that, it becomes easier to stop envying and start appreciating your own progress. You begin to understand that success is messy, personal, and unpredictable. You become more compassionate to yourself and others. By stopping comparison, you reclaim your power. You stop giving others control over your happiness and self-worth. You start making choices based on your values, not on what others think or have. You learn to appreciate your own pace and your own wins. You start living your life on your own terms. The moment you choose to stop comparing, you step into freedom. You start focusing on what you can do, not what you lack. You move from a place of scarcity to a place of possibility. You stop shrinking yourself to fit a mold and start expanding into your true potential. This is where real growth happens. This is where you begin to win in life. Number 3, build habits that strengthen your body and mind. One of the hardest realities people face is that change doesn't happen overnight. Most want to wake up one day transformed, but life doesn't work like that. True success and lasting growth come from habits, small actions repeated over time that shape your body and mind. The problem is, few realize how much their daily habits decide their future. It's not just about motivation or inspiration. It's about the routines you build and stick to when no one's watching. When you focus on strengthening your body and mind every day, you're laying down the foundation for everything else in life. Without this foundation, your goals become shaky dreams. Think about how often people feel drained, overwhelmed, or stuck. That's often because they've ignored basic habits that support their well-being. When you neglect your body, you lose energy. When you neglect your mind, you lose focus and resilience. This combination makes it nearly impossible to handle challenges or push toward your goals. It's like trying to run a race with no fuel and no clear direction. The truth is, your body and mind are your greatest assets. They carry you through every tough day, every decision, every opportunity. Without care and strength in these areas, your efforts won't have the power they need. Building habits that strengthen your body starts with simple, consistent actions. It's not about becoming an athlete overnight or doing extreme workouts. It's about creating movement that energizes you. Maybe that's a 15-minute walk each morning or stretching before bed. Maybe it's drinking enough water, choosing real food, or getting enough sleep. These small choices, done daily, build stamina and health. They improve your mood, your focus, and your ability to handle stress. When your body feels strong and capable, your mind follows. You experience less fatigue, less frustration, and more confidence to face the day. Mental strength is just as important as physical strength. It comes from the habits you develop that sharpen your focus, calm your thoughts, and grow your mindset. This could be reading a book for 10 minutes a day, journaling to clear your mind, or practicing simple breathing exercises to manage stress. These habits train your brain to stay calm and clear when life gets messy. They help you notice negative thoughts and replace them with useful ones. Over time, these mental habits create resilience. You start responding to challenges with patience and clarity instead of panic and doubt. What many don't realize is that habits are the building blocks of identity. When you consistently act a certain way, you start to believe that's who you are. If you build habits around caring for your body and mind, you become someone who respects yourself, someone who values health and growth. If you ignore these habits, you tell yourself it's okay to neglect your own needs. The story you tell yourself every day about who you are shapes your reality. Choose a story where you are strong, capable, and growing. Creating habits is never about perfection. It's about persistence. You will miss days. You will face obstacles. But every time you come back, you prove to yourself that your goals are worth it. Habits build momentum. The first few days might feel awkward or difficult, but as you keep going, they become natural. When they become natural, they fuel your progress without you even thinking about it. You stop relying on willpower and start living your goals through your habits. It's important to set realistic expectations when building these habits. Too often, people try to overhaul everything at once and then give up when it feels overwhelming. Instead, pick 1 or 2 habits to focus on. Make them small and manageable. For example, instead of saying, "I'm going to run every day," say, "I'm going to walk for 10 minutes every morning." Once that becomes routine, add another habit. This step-by-step approach leads to lasting change because it fits into your life rather than forcing you to change your life overnight. Accountability helps too. When you share your habit goals with someone you trust or track your progress in a journal, you create a system that supports you. It's harder to skip a habit when you know someone is counting on you or when you see your progress on paper. This keeps your motivation alive and helps you overcome days when you feel like giving up. Habits also protect you from distractions. When your mind and body are strong, you have more energy and focus to say no to what doesn't serve you. You don't fall into old patterns of procrastination or avoidance. Instead, you can prioritize what truly matters. Your habits become a shield against the noise and chaos that tries to pull you away from your goals. Remember, Building strong habits in your body and mind is not about instant gratification. It's about investing in your future self. Every small action you take today creates a ripple effect that shapes your tomorrow. The tired mornings, the restless nights, the moments of doubt, all of those can be managed better when you have strong habits supporting you. You won't be perfect, but you'll be better prepared. You'll have the strength to keep going, even when life gets tough. Imagine what your life would look like if every day you felt energized, focused, and calm. Imagine how much easier it would be to handle setbacks and push toward your dreams. That reality starts with the habits you build now. Those habits are not boring or limiting. They're empowering and liberating because they give you control over your body and mind. The process of strengthening yourself through habits also teaches patience and self-compassion. You learn that growth isn't a straight line. Some days you move forward, other days you take a step back. Both are part of the journey. The important part is you keep showing up for yourself. You keep making the choice to care for your body and mind, no matter what. These habits become a form of respect you give yourself. They say, "I am worth the effort." And when you believe you are worth the effort, everything else in your life begins to change. Your confidence grows, your relationships improve, and your goals become more achievable. You start living a life where you win because you chose to build yourself up from the inside out. Building habits that strengthen your body and mind is not just a recommendation, it's a necessity. It's the secret to unlocking your potential. When you commit to these habits, you're investing in a future where you have the energy to work on your goals, the clarity to make good decisions, and the resilience to keep moving forward no matter what comes your way. Number 4, spend time alone to understand what you want. Many people live their entire lives caught up in noise from the outside world, from other people's opinions, from constant distractions. This noise can drown out the most important voice you need to hear, your own. It's easy to get lost in the chaos of life, doing what others expect, following paths that seem popular or easy, but never truly stopping to ask yourself what you want. The harsh truth is that without taking time alone, you'll likely never know what you really want. Instead, you'll drift through life reacting to situations, adapting to others' agendas, and feeling disconnected from your own purpose. Time alone is not just about being physically by yourself. It's about creating space where you can listen deeply to your own thoughts and feelings. It's where you step away from distractions, phones, social media, people, and face the reality of your desires, fears, and goals. Many avoid this time because it can be uncomfortable. When you're alone with your thoughts, you can't hide behind noise. You're forced to confront the truth about where you are and where you want to go. It's a reality check, but it's also a powerful gift. This clarity is the foundation for meaningful progress. When you spend time alone, you give yourself a chance to reflect without pressure. You start to notice patterns, what makes you happy, what drains you, what truly matters. This isn't about daydreaming or wishful thinking. It's about honest reflection. What parts of your life bring you fulfillment? What parts cause frustration or pain? When you answer these questions honestly, you start to uncover your true desires. This self-awareness is rare but crucial. Without it, you risk building a life based on others' definitions of success rather than your own. It's common to feel guilty about taking time for yourself, especially if you're used to putting others first. Many believe that being busy or constantly social is the measure of productivity and worth. But neglecting time alone is like trying to drive a car without stopping to refuel. Eventually you run out of energy, focus, and direction. Taking time for yourself is not selfish, it's essential. It's a way to recharge your mind and reconnect with your deepest goals. It allows you to make decisions that honor who you are, not just what others want from you. In solitude, you develop a stronger relationship with yourself. You learn to trust your instincts and your feelings. You become less dependent on external validation because you've found your own answers. This self-trust empowers you to set clear goals that align with your values. When you know what you want, you can focus your energy on those things instead of chasing distractions. This focus is what moves you from feeling stuck to feeling unstoppable. Some of the most successful people in history have emphasized the power of solitude. They understood that great ideas, clarity, and breakthroughs come when you step away from the noise. Quiet moments create space for your mind to organize itself, to problem solve, and to dream with purpose. If you never pause, you miss these moments of insight. You stay reactive rather than proactive. You allow life to happen to you instead of making life happen for you. Creating time alone doesn't mean you have to isolate yourself or cut off relationships. It simply means carving out intentional moments when you disconnect and focus inward. This might be early mornings before the world wakes up, a walk in nature without your phone, or a quiet evening where you write in a journal. The goal is consistent, distraction-free time that lets your mind settle and your heart speak. When you spend this time regularly, you become clearer about what success means for you personally. This clarity prevents you from wasting time and energy on goals that don't fit. It helps you say no to opportunities or demands that don't align with your vision. This is a powerful form of self-respect and protection of your energy. You start living with intention instead of default. Without this self-understanding, people often fall into confusion, frustration, and dissatisfaction. They work hard but feel like something is missing. They follow advice or trends that don't fit their personality or dreams. This leads to burnout and regret. But when you spend time alone to really understand what you want, you create a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. Your efforts become purposeful. Your struggles become lessons on a clear path. It's normal for this process to bring up fears or doubts. When you dig deep, you might uncover limiting beliefs or worries about failure. This is part of growth. Facing these fears in solitude helps you break their power over you. You gain clarity not only on what you want, but also on what's holding you back. This awareness is the first step toward overcoming obstacles. Spending time alone also sharpens your decision-making skills. When you know yourself well, you make choices that serve your best interests. You don't rely on others' opinions or temporary emotions. Your decisions come from a place of confidence and clarity. This reduces regret and second-guessing, making your journey smoother and more fulfilling. The challenge is consistency. It's easy to get busy or distracted and neglect this essential practice, but even a few minutes a day can make a huge difference. Over weeks and months, those minutes add up to deep self-knowledge and purpose. This investment in yourself pays off in motivation, energy, and direction. By spending time alone, you also learn to appreciate your own company. This builds self-love and reduces the need for constant external approval. When you feel complete alone, you bring your best self to relationships and work. You stop seeking validation and start offering value. This shift changes how you experience life and how others experience you. In this busy world, choosing solitude is a radical act of self-care. It's a statement that you are worth the time and effort. It's a way to protect your mental health and mental clarity. When you cultivate this practice, you prepare yourself to win in life, not by following others, but by following your own true path. The first step is to create space. Turn off your phone, find a quiet spot, and sit with your thoughts. Ask yourself meaningful questions like, what do I truly want? What brings me peace? What drains my energy? What kind of life do I want to build? Write down your answers. Reflect on them regularly. Let your answers guide your actions. This simple habit of spending time alone to understand what you want becomes the compass for your entire life. It ensures every step you take moves you closer to a life you love. It helps you avoid distractions, negativity, and confusion. Most importantly, it reconnects you with yourself so you can win in life on your own terms. Number 5. Protect your energy by avoiding negative people. Life throws challenges at everyone, but one of the toughest realities is dealing with the people who drain your energy instead of lifting you up. It's a fact many struggle with silently. Not everyone around you has your best interest at heart. Negative people, whether they are critical, pessimistic, or constantly complaining, can wear you down faster than any external obstacle. Their words and attitudes seep into your mind, cloud your judgment, and sap the energy you need to move forward. If you want to focus on yourself and win in life, protecting your energy by avoiding negative influences isn't optional. It's a necessity. Most people underestimate how much other people's energy affects their own. It's easy to brush off negativity as just how some people are or normal. But every moment spent around toxic attitudes chips away at your motivation and peace. Imagine pouring water into a cup that has a leak. No matter how much effort you put in, the water drains away. Negative people are like that leak. They drain your confidence, your joy, and your ability to focus on what matters. It's impossible to build a strong, fulfilling life if your energy is constantly being drained by those around you. The first step to protecting your energy is awareness. Notice how you feel after spending time with certain people. Do you feel refreshed and encouraged, or tired and discouraged? If you feel emotionally drained, anxious, or stressed around someone, it's a sign that their energy isn't good for you. This doesn't mean cutting people off harshly or without thought, but it means setting clear limits on how much time and attention you give to those who bring you down. Avoiding negative people doesn't require confrontation or drama. Sometimes it means quietly reducing your exposure to their influence. You don't owe anyone endless explanations. Your well-being comes first. When you guard your energy, you create space for positive relationships and activities that support your growth. It's a form of respect for yourself. You're saying, I choose to spend my time with people who encourage me, who believe in me, and who add value to my life. It's important to recognize that negativity can come in many forms. It's not always loud criticism or harsh words. Sometimes it's subtle, a constant need to complain, gossip, or focus on problems instead of solutions. These habits create a negative environment that drags down everyone involved. Being around this regularly makes it hard to stay positive or motivated. Protecting your energy means recognizing these subtle forms of negativity and distancing yourself when necessary. Another reality is that negative people often resist change. They may discourage your goals, mock your efforts, or act indifferent to your progress. This behavior is rooted in their own fears and insecurities, but it doesn't have to become your burden. When you hold on to these relationships without boundaries, their doubts and fears become yours. You start to question your abilities and lose sight of your path. Protecting your energy means not internalizing their negativity and refusing to let it shape your mindset. Sometimes the negative influences are family members or close friends. This makes the situation even more difficult because of emotional ties and obligations. It's normal to feel guilty about protecting your energy in these cases. But protecting your peace doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you find healthy ways to interact without letting their negativity pull you down. This might include limiting the time spent together, changing topics when conversations turn toxic, or seeking support outside those relationships. Choosing to protect your energy also means surrounding yourself with positive influences. Seek out people who inspire you, challenge you to be better, and celebrate your wins. Positive relationships create a ripple effect. They boost your confidence, open your mind to new ideas, and provide encouragement when things get tough. When you have a strong support system, the negative noise has less power over you. Your energy becomes a force that attracts opportunities and growth, rather than one that gets drained by others. Your mental and emotional energy are not unlimited resources. Each day you face choices about where to invest them. When you spend time with negative people, you're essentially giving away your power. When you choose to protect your energy, you're reclaiming that power. You're making a conscious decision to fuel yourself with positivity, hope, and purpose. This shift changes everything about how you approach your goals and your life. It's common to feel uncertain or conflicted when you start protecting your energy. You might worry about being perceived as rude or uncaring. You might feel pressure to maintain relationships even when they harm you. These feelings are normal, but they don't outweigh the need to care for yourself. Remember, you cannot pour from an empty cup. You must be strong and whole before you can fully support others or tackle your dreams. Protecting your energy also improves your focus. When you're not weighed down by negativity, your mind is clearer. You make better decisions, find creative solutions, and stay motivated. You avoid unnecessary stress and anxiety that cloud your judgment. This clarity gives you an edge in any situation because you're operating from a place of strength and calm, not exhaustion and doubt. In practical terms, protecting your energy might look like setting boundaries around conversations that turn negative, choosing not to engage in gossip, or politely excusing yourself from draining situations. It might mean saying no to invitations that don't serve your well-being or limiting time on social media where negativity thrives. Each of these choices is a step toward a healthier, more focused life. It's also important to protect your energy by being mindful of your own thoughts and self-talk. Sometimes we are our own worst critics. Negative self-talk drains energy just like negative people do. Developing habits to replace harsh inner voices with supportive and kind words is part of protecting your energy. When your mind is your ally instead of your enemy, you are better equipped to face challenges and keep moving forward. Choosing to protect your energy doesn't isolate you from the world. Instead, it equips you to engage with the world in a healthier, more intentional way. You learn to invest your time, attention, and emotions wisely. You become selective about where you put your energy because you understand its value. This wisdom leads to better relationships, stronger boundaries, and a more fulfilling life. Remember, protecting your energy is an act of strength, not weakness. It requires courage to step away from negativity and prioritize your peace. But this courage is what builds the foundation for lasting success and happiness. When you guard your energy, you give yourself the best chance to focus on what really matters: your growth, your goals, and your life. The process is ongoing. You will encounter negative people throughout your life. What matters is how you respond. Will you let their negativity pull you down, or will you stand firm, protect your energy, and keep moving forward? This choice will define your experience and your success. Protecting your energy is the key to maintaining momentum and motivation. When you keep your mind and spirit clear from negativity, you open the door to better opportunities and brighter possibilities. Your energy becomes a powerful tool to create the life you want. It's not just about avoiding harm, it's about cultivating strength. Number 6, track your progress and celebrate small daily wins. One of the hardest things to do on the journey towards success is to keep going when the finish line feels invisible. Many people start with great enthusiasm but lose steam somewhere along the way because they feel like they aren't moving forward fast enough. The truth is, real progress often happens in small, almost invisible steps. If you're not paying attention, those small wins can pass you by, leaving you frustrated and ready to give up. Tracking your progress and celebrating the little victories every day is not just helpful, it's essential if you want to focus on yourself and truly win in life. The reality many face is discouragement fueled by impatience. They want instant results and clear milestones, but life doesn't work that way. When the goals are big and the path is long, it's easy to overlook the subtle shifts happening within you. Maybe you made one more phone call than yesterday, maybe you stuck to your schedule a little better, or maybe you said no to a distraction you usually give in to. These moments might seem small, but they build momentum. Tracking them makes you aware of your growth and fuels your motivation. It's common to underestimate the power of awareness. When you keep track of your daily efforts, you see patterns. You recognize what's working and what needs adjustment. It's like having a map that guides you instead of wandering blindly. Without this, you risk feeling stuck, even when you're actually making progress. Writing things down or using simple tools to mark your achievements creates a sense of accomplishment that energizes your journey. Celebrating small wins is equally important. Many think celebration means big rewards or grand gestures, but that's not true. Celebrating is acknowledging your effort and progress in a way that feels meaningful to you. It could be as simple as a moment of pride, a short break, or a word of encouragement to yourself. These celebrations reinforce positive behavior. They tell your brain, this effort matters. Without celebration, the mind sees only hard work and delays, which leads to burnout. The power of daily tracking and celebration lies in their ability to build confidence. Confidence is not something you are born with. It is built through repeated proof that you can succeed. Every small win is a brick in the foundation of your belief in yourself. When you take time to notice these wins, you build resilience against doubts and setbacks. This ongoing boost helps you face bigger challenges with a stronger mindset. Many people make the mistake of only recognizing progress when the final goal is reached. This approach sets you up for disappointment because life's journey is rarely linear. There will be setbacks, distractions, and slow periods. Tracking and celebrating daily wins keep you grounded and focused on the process rather than just the outcome. The process is where transformation happens. It's where you learn, grow, and build the habits that create lasting success. Being intentional about tracking your progress also helps manage your emotions. Success is emotional as much as it is logical. When you see your small wins add up, you feel encouraged and optimistic. This emotional boost helps combat frustration and impatience that can derail your efforts. Instead of focusing on what's not done, your mind stays anchored in what's been achieved, which is vital for long-term motivation. Another benefit is clarity. When you consistently record your progress, you gain clear insight into how far you've come. This clarity prevents confusion and overwhelm. It breaks your larger goal into manageable pieces. With clear steps, each day becomes purposeful rather than chaotic. You know exactly what to do and can measure how well you're doing it. This clarity reduces anxiety and increases your control over your life. Celebrating small wins also strengthens your commitment to your goals. It's easy to lose focus when the prize seems distant. But when you reward yourself for daily efforts, you create a positive feedback loop. Your brain associates hard work with positive feelings, making you more likely to keep going. This cycle creates discipline and consistency, which are the backbone of success. Tracking progress is not complicated. It doesn't require fancy apps or complicated systems. A simple journal, checklist, or calendar can work wonders. The key is consistency. Write down what you accomplished each day and reflect on how it made you feel. This simple habit builds a record of achievement you can look back on during tough times. When doubts arise, this record reminds you of your strength and persistence. Celebration, too, can be tailored to your personality and preferences. It doesn't have to be costly or time-consuming. Maybe it's enjoying a favorite healthy snack, taking a short walk in nature, sharing your success with a supportive friend, or simply giving yourself permission to feel proud. These moments recharge your spirit and keep your enthusiasm alive. They connect your mind and heart to your goals. It's important to note that tracking and celebrating aren't about perfection. Some days will be harder than others. Sometimes the wins are tiny, and sometimes they might feel insignificant. But every step forward counts. Even recognizing a small step forward during a difficult day is a victory. This mindset keeps you moving forward instead of getting stuck in self-criticism or comparison. People who consistently track and celebrate are more likely to develop patience. They learn that success is a journey filled with daily efforts and small victories. This perspective prevents the frustration that comes from unrealistic expectations. You begin to understand that life's progress isn't a sprint, but a steady climb. With patience, you can weather the ups and downs and maintain your focus on long-term growth. Tracking your progress and celebrating small wins also helps to build gratitude. When you acknowledge your efforts regularly, you start appreciating the journey and the person you're becoming. Gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity and lack to abundance and growth. This positive mindset attracts more opportunities and positive people into your life. Another critical aspect is accountability. When you track your progress, you hold yourself accountable. This accountability makes you less likely to procrastinate or give up. It also increases your responsibility for your own growth. Taking ownership of your journey empowers you to take action even when motivation wanes. Remember, this is not about showing off your progress to others. It's about honoring your own hard work and reinforcing your commitment. The progress you track and the wins you celebrate are personal. They build your self-esteem and empower you to keep striving for your goals with confidence. As you build this habit, your life transforms. You become someone who sees possibility instead of obstacles. You start to believe in your capacity to improve and succeed. Your energy shifts from doubt to determination. This transformation comes from consistent recognition of your own progress and efforts. Every day brings a new chance to move closer to your dreams. When you track what you accomplish and celebrate even the smallest wins, you create a powerful rhythm of success. This rhythm carries you through the hard times and fuels your passion to keep growing. This is how winners think and act. They see progress not only in big leaps, but in every small step. They cherish their wins, no matter the size, because they understand that those wins build the foundation for something greater. You have the power to adopt this mindset and use it to focus on yourself and win in life. Number 7. Say no to things that distract your growth. There's a truth that many people avoid facing. Growth demands sacrifice. It's not just about doing the right things, but also about saying no to the wrong things. Every moment you spend on distractions is a moment lost from moving closer to your goals. Most people struggle with this because saying no isn't easy. It feels uncomfortable, even selfish, especially when you're surrounded by constant demands, distractions, and invitations. But to focus on yourself and win in life, you have to become skilled at saying no to anything that pulls you away from your growth. The challenge begins with how life bombards you every day. Phones ring, notifications ping, invitations arrive, and your time is pulled in countless directions. Each distraction looks harmless or even fun at first. Watching a quick video, scrolling social media, saying yes to an event, or engaging in gossip, these all seem minor. Yet when these small distractions pile up, they steal hours and drain your energy. Over time, they keep you stuck in the same place while others move forward. Understanding this is the first step toward protecting your growth. Most people underestimate how valuable their time and focus are. When you don't say no, you are actually giving away your most precious resources. Time once lost can never be reclaimed. The energy you waste on distractions leaves you drained and less capable of doing what matters most. Saying no isn't about being rude or ignoring others. It's about respecting your own journey and protecting what's essential. It's about prioritizing your growth over temporary comfort or approval. Saying no also means rejecting habits and behaviors that don't serve you. It means being honest with yourself about what's helping you grow and what's holding you back. This could be unhealthy routines, toxic entertainment, or negative conversations. Every yes to distraction is a no to your potential. The more you say no to things that don't align with your goals, the clearer your path becomes. Your mind gets focused, and your actions become purposeful. This skill requires practice and courage. At first, saying no may feel awkward. You might worry about missing out or upsetting others. But when you see the progress that comes from protecting your time, you'll realize that saying no is actually an act of strength. It builds your discipline and shows that you value your future more than temporary distractions. With every no, you reinforce your commitment to yourself. Understanding your priorities is key to knowing what to say no to. When your goals are clear, distractions become easier to identify. If you want to grow, you must get very clear on what activities, people, and thoughts support that growth. Anything outside that framework becomes a distraction. This clarity removes the confusion and guilt often tied to saying no. It gives you a solid reason to protect your time and focus. Saying no doesn't mean isolating yourself or avoiding fun. It means choosing wisely. Sometimes saying no is saying yes to something better. Saying no to a night out could mean saying yes to extra hours of learning or rest. Saying no to a toxic conversation could mean saying yes to peace of mind. Every choice matters, and you become the gatekeeper of your own energy. Many people fall into the trap of believing that they must please everyone around them. This belief steals focus and progress. You cannot grow by living to meet others' expectations. When you say no to distractions and demands that do not serve your purpose, you claim your power. You show up for yourself in a way that no one else can. Growth happens when you become selective with your time, attention, and energy. Distractions also come disguised as important or urgent matters. Learning to differentiate between urgent and important tasks is critical. Urgent tasks scream for attention but often don't move you closer to your goals. Important tasks build your future and require deep focus. Saying no to urgent distractions protects your space for important growth activities. This habit keeps your efforts aligned with your vision instead of scattered by noise. You must develop boundaries around your time and attention. Boundaries are not walls, they are guidelines that protect your focus and well-being. When you clearly define what you will and will not engage with, it becomes easier to say no. Boundaries reduce stress and prevent burnout. They keep your energy directed at your personal development and the actions that build your success. Saying no is also about managing your digital life. Phones, emails, and social media are major distraction zones. Many people waste hours daily without realizing how much. Turning off unnecessary notifications, limiting screen time, and scheduling focused work sessions are ways to say no to digital distractions. This creates space for deep work and meaningful progress. You are the master of your habits, and saying no is a habit you must cultivate. It requires self-awareness and self-control. Recognizing when you are tempted to say yes to distraction and deliberately choosing no rewires your brain. Over time, this habit strengthens, making focus your natural state. You start to crave growth activities instead of distractions. People who say no to distractions build momentum faster. They finish their work, learn more, and improve daily. Their energy is not wasted on meaningless activities, so they have more to give to what truly matters. This focused energy leads to better results, more confidence, and a greater sense of fulfillment. It's a simple principle with profound impact. It's also important to understand that saying no doesn't always mean an immediate no forever. Sometimes it means delaying or rescheduling. When you control your calendar and commitments, you decide what deserves your attention and when. This flexibility allows you to maintain balance without sacrificing growth. There will be times when distractions feel like rewards or breaks. However, breaks that don't rejuvenate but drain your time and energy are false rewards. Real breaks are planned, purposeful, and refresh your mind and body. Learning to distinguish between a real break and a distraction is part of saying no to what doesn't serve you. Saying no can also improve your relationships. When you are clear about your priorities and protect your time, people respect you more. You set an example of self-respect and discipline that inspires others. It also frees you to be more present and engaged in the relationships that truly matter because you aren't overwhelmed by distractions. At its core, saying no to distractions is about taking full responsibility for your life. It means owning your choices and their consequences. You can't blame external noise or others for lack of progress when you control your yes and no. This ownership empowers you to direct your life with intention. The journey of growth will always have distractions trying to pull you away. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't often comes down to the ability to say no. This skill protects your focus, energy, and progress. It keeps your vision clear and your actions aligned. It creates the space for your best self to emerge. Learning to say no is one of the most practical and powerful steps you can take. It's not just a refusal. It's an affirmation of your worth and purpose. Every no you say is a yes to your future. It's a daily act of courage that keeps you moving forward, even when the world tries to pull you off course. Number 8. Feed your mind with positive and useful content. Life has a way of pulling your thoughts in every direction, and most people don't realize how much their mind is influenced by what they consume daily. If the content you take in is mostly negative, useless, or shallow, it shapes your outlook and limits your potential. Feeding your mind with positive and useful content is not some fluffy idea, it's a practical necessity for growth and winning in life. The reality is simple. What you focus on expands. If your mental diet is filled with discouragement, gossip, or empty distractions, you're starving yourself of the fuel needed to reach your goals. Most people wake up and immediately start consuming random content without thought. Social media posts, news headlines, entertainment, conversations. Each piece builds your mental environment. Many times it's a constant flood of negativity, criticism, and confusion. This doesn't just weigh on your emotions, it changes how you think and what you believe is possible. The mind is like a garden, and the seeds you plant through the content you consume will grow into either weeds or flowers. Feeding it with positive and useful content helps you cultivate strength, resilience, and clarity. Choosing what to feed your mind requires awareness and intentionality. It's easy to scroll mindlessly or watch whatever catches attention because it's entertaining. But that's the problem. Entertainment often doesn't add value to your life. Instead, seek content that uplifts, teaches, or inspires. Look for ideas that challenge you to think bigger, habits that encourage growth, and stories that remind you of what's possible. Positive and useful content doesn't have to be complicated or hard to find. It's available everywhere. You just have to decide to make it part of your daily routine. Feeding your mind positively also means balancing the input with your goals. If you want to improve your finances, focus on learning from people who have succeeded in that area. If health is your goal, consume content about nutrition, exercise, and wellness. If personal growth is your priority, read books, listen to podcasts, or watch videos that deepen your understanding of mindset and discipline. The more aligned the content is with your goals, the more it will push you forward. The emotional impact of positive content is often underestimated. When you hear uplifting stories or learn new skills, it changes your mood and confidence. Your brain releases chemicals that encourage motivation and well-being. This isn't just about feeling good, it's about creating a mental environment where growth is possible. Positive content helps you bounce back from setbacks, stay focused during tough times, and keep your eyes on the prize. Ignoring the type of content you consume leads to what I call mental clutter. This clutter creates confusion, doubt, and fear. When your mind is cluttered, your decisions become reactive and unfocused. It's much harder to take consistent action toward your goals. By feeding your mind with useful and positive ideas, you clear the clutter and sharpen your ability to act decisively. Your thoughts become tools that serve your progress instead of obstacles that hold you back. Developing a habit of consuming positive and useful content means being selective about your sources. Not every book, video, or conversation is helpful. Some content looks positive but lacks depth or practical value. Be picky about what you allow into your mind. Quality over quantity applies here. One powerful lesson from a great book or mentor can be worth more than hours of random browsing. This discipline in selection creates a foundation of knowledge and wisdom you can rely on. Another important part of feeding your mind well is balancing input with reflection. Consuming content without thinking it through or applying it limits its power. Take time to pause and consider what you've learned. Ask yourself how it fits with your goals and what changes you can make based on it. This reflection turns passive consumption into active growth. It makes the content work for you, not just fill your time. Positive and useful content also comes from your environment and the people you spend time with. Conversations, group discussions, and mentorship shape your thinking just as much as books or videos. Surround yourself with individuals who inspire, challenge, and support you. When your social circle feeds your mind with good ideas and constructive feedback, your growth accelerates. This means being careful about who you allow to influence your thoughts and emotions. Technology makes access to content easier than ever, but it also makes it easier to get distracted by nonsense. Managing your consumption requires discipline. Set limits on social media, turn off unnecessary notifications, and schedule dedicated time for learning and inspiration. This focus protects your mind from being overwhelmed and helps you stay on track. Feeding your mind positively influences your self-talk, which is a powerful force in your growth. When your mind is filled with positive ideas, you naturally start speaking to yourself with encouragement instead of criticism. This shift in internal dialogue boosts confidence and resilience. You become your own biggest supporter instead of your harshest critic. This change creates a cycle of improvement and motivation. It's important to recognize that feeding your mind is an ongoing process. Just like your body needs food daily, your mind needs fresh, positive, and useful content every day. Stopping this intake or allowing negative content to dominate will slowly undo progress. Make it a daily practice to nourish your mind so you can maintain momentum and keep moving forward. Not all content needs to be serious or academic. Positive content can come from music that uplifts you, stories that inspire courage, or humor that lightens your mood. The key is that it adds value to your mental and emotional state. Seek out those sources that bring energy and clarity rather than drain or confuse you. When you feed your mind well, your perspective changes. Challenges don't feel as overwhelming. Failures become lessons instead of roadblocks. Your hope and determination grow stronger. This shift in mindset is what makes the difference between those who give up and those who keep going until they succeed. At the end of the day, feeding your mind with positive and useful content is an act of respect and care for yourself. It says you believe in your potential and are committed to unlocking it. It's a choice to surround yourself with growth instead of distraction, wisdom instead of noise. This choice shapes your reality, your actions, and ultimately, your success. Number 9. Set clear boundaries to protect your peace. Peace is something almost everyone wants, but it's rare because most people don't know how to protect it. Life throws problems at you, constantly demands from others, unexpected challenges, and endless distractions. Without clear boundaries, these things invade your mind and spirit until you feel overwhelmed, stressed, and off balance. Most people never stop to think that peace isn't just luck or circumstances. Peace is something you create and guard by setting firm boundaries. If peace is missing from your life, the problem isn't outside, it's that you haven't defined what is acceptable and what isn't in your time, energy, and emotions. Many people live without boundaries because they fear saying no or upsetting others. This fear comes from a deep desire to be liked or accepted. The harsh truth is that trying to please everyone will leave you drained and disconnected from what truly matters. You can't give your best to your goals, your family, or yourself when your energy is scattered trying to meet everyone else's demands. Setting clear boundaries is an act of self-respect. It means recognizing that your time and peace are valuable and not unlimited resources. Without this respect, you give away your power to others and lose control of your own life. Setting boundaries starts with understanding what your limits are. What can you handle mentally, emotionally, and physically? What makes you feel overwhelmed or anxious? What takes away your focus from your priorities? When you know these things, you can begin drawing lines. These lines are your boundaries, and they are not negotiable. It's okay to say no to requests or situations that cross these lines. Saying no is not selfish, it's necessary. It's the foundation for maintaining balance and peace in a world that often demands too much. Once you've set boundaries, the next step is communicating them clearly and respectfully. This can be uncomfortable at first because it might upset people used to your previous availability. But honesty and firmness create respect over time. When you clearly say what you will and won't accept, others learn to honor that. This clarity protects your peace by reducing misunderstandings and unnecessary stress. Remember, you are not responsible for others' reactions. Your responsibility is to protect your well-being. Boundaries are not just about saying no to people. They also involve protecting your mind from negative influences. For example, you might set a boundary around your media consumption, deciding not to watch or listen to anything that leaves you feeling anxious or angry. Or you might limit conversations with people who drain your energy or bring constant criticism. These boundaries help maintain mental peace, which is crucial for staying focused and motivated. Another important boundary is around your time. Many people allow their days to be hijacked by interruptions, urgent but unimportant tasks, or social obligations that don't align with their goals. Protecting your time means scheduling when you work on what matters and turning off distractions during those periods. It also means giving yourself permission to rest and recharge without guilt. Time boundaries ensure that your energy is directed toward what moves you forward rather than what pulls you away. Setting boundaries also means protecting your emotions. This might involve limiting exposure to toxic relationships or environments where you feel disrespected or undervalued. When you allow people to cross emotional boundaries repeatedly, it creates tension and unhappiness inside you. Learning to walk away or distance yourself from these situations is a powerful way to preserve your peace. It takes courage, but it's necessary to protect your inner world. It's normal to feel guilty or selfish when you start setting boundaries because you're breaking old habits of people-pleasing or avoidance. But this guilt is a sign you're doing something important. It means you're stepping into your own power. As you practice setting boundaries, you'll notice a shift inside. You'll feel lighter, more confident, and more in control of your life. The peace that was missing will begin to fill the spaces you've cleared. Sometimes others will push back against your boundaries because they are used to you being available or compliant. They may complain, criticize, or try to make you feel guilty. This resistance is natural, but it doesn't mean your boundaries are wrong. On the contrary, it's a sign that your boundaries are necessary. Stand firm and remember that protecting your peace benefits not only you, but everyone around you. When you are calm, focused, and balanced, you can give more from a place of strength instead of exhaustion. Your boundaries will evolve as you grow. What you could tolerate before might no longer serve you. Being clear about your boundaries is an ongoing process of tuning in to your needs and making adjustments. It's a commitment to yourself that your peace is non-negotiable, no matter what life throws your way. This commitment becomes a powerful foundation for success because it supports your ability to stay consistent, focused, and resilient. Many successful people credit their achievements to the boundaries they set early in their journey. These boundaries allowed them to say no to distractions and yes to what mattered most. They didn't waste energy on drama, negativity, or demands that didn't align with their goals. Instead, they protected their time, mind, and heart so they could give their best to the things that made a difference. When boundaries are in place, you create space for growth. You can focus on your goals without constant interruptions. Your energy stays high because you're not drained by unnecessary demands. Your mind remains clear because you're not overwhelmed by chaos. This clarity helps you make better decisions and take more purposeful actions every day. In short, boundaries are the invisible walls that keep your progress intact. Setting boundaries also improves your relationships. When people understand your limits, they know how to respect and support you better. Clear boundaries reduce conflicts because expectations are communicated openly. They foster healthier interactions based on respect instead of frustration or resentment. This creates a more peaceful and supportive environment around you, which feeds your motivation and happiness. Protecting your peace is the most powerful investment you can make in yourself. It's not about avoiding challenges, but about creating the conditions where you can face them from a place of strength. Without peace, stress and overwhelm cloud your judgment and drain your energy. With peace, your mind is sharp, your spirit is steady, and your heart is open to possibilities. When peace becomes a priority, your life changes in profound ways. You start attracting opportunities and people who respect your boundaries. Your confidence grows because you know your worth and limits. Your productivity rises because your energy is focused and protected. And most importantly, your happiness increases because you are living in alignment with your values and priorities. This is why setting clear boundaries to protect your peace is not optional, it's essential. It's the key to sustaining your growth and winning in life. Without it, everything else becomes harder, more stressful, and less fulfilling. With it, you build a life where success and peace go hand in hand, creating a powerful foundation for lasting fulfillment and achievement. Number 10. Choose improvement over approval in every situation. The struggle to gain approval from others is something many people face every day, but it's also one of the biggest barriers to personal growth. Most people spend more time worrying about what others think than focusing on what they truly need to improve in their own lives. The problem is, chasing approval from everyone around you puts your happiness and success in someone else's hands. When your worth depends on the judgment of others, you become trapped in a cycle of insecurity, constantly seeking validation but rarely feeling satisfied. This leads to frustration, fear of failure, and a loss of direction. Choosing improvement over approval means shifting your focus away from pleasing others and toward becoming better for yourself. It means valuing your progress, no matter how small, instead of measuring yourself by how many people like or agree with you. Improvement is a personal journey where you are in control, while approval depends on unpredictable opinions that can change in an instant. This choice is not easy because approval feels like comfort. It's the safety of fitting in. But real growth comes from stepping outside that comfort zone and embracing the discomfort of change. Most people don't realize how much energy they waste on trying to impress others. This effort pulls you away from your goals and keeps you stuck in the same place. Instead of asking, "What will they think?" the better question is, "How can I improve?" When you focus on improving, every challenge becomes an opportunity rather than a threat. You stop fearing criticism because you know it's part of the learning process. You understand that mistakes don't define you, your response to them does. Improvement requires honest self-reflection. It means looking at your habits, choices, and results without excuses. When you accept responsibility for your growth, you gain control of your future. This attitude builds confidence because you rely on your own standards, not the fluctuating opinions of others. Improvement is measurable and empowering. Approval is unpredictable and often shallow. Choosing improvement means you choose stability, control, and self-respect. In many situations, people feel pressured to conform to others' expectations, whether at work, in family, or among friends. This pressure leads to decisions that prioritize acceptance over growth. The problem with this is those decisions rarely bring long-term happiness or success. When you choose approval, you are giving away your power and limiting your potential. When you choose improvement, you create the freedom to explore your true abilities and develop the skills you need to thrive. Choosing improvement over approval also changes how you handle feedback. Instead of reacting defensively or avoiding criticism, you learn to see feedback as valuable information. It's not about pleasing the person giving it, but about using their perspective to identify areas where you can grow. This mindset helps you stay open and curious, even when the feedback is tough to hear. Over time, this habit makes you stronger and more adaptable, qualities that are essential for success in any field. Another key part of this choice is learning to set your own standards. When you rely on others' approval, you follow their rules and values. When you focus on improvement, you define what success means for you. This might mean working harder on skills that others don't value or taking paths that seem unconventional. The courage to set your own standards comes from trusting yourself and believing in your capacity to grow. Improvement also means being patient with yourself. Change rarely happens overnight. It takes time to build new skills, break old habits, and develop confidence. When you choose improvement, you accept that progress is a process. You celebrate small wins and keep moving forward, even when results seem slow. This patience prevents frustration and burnout, keeping your motivation alive. Choosing improvement over approval has a powerful effect on your relationships as well. When you stop trying to please everyone, you attract people who respect and support your growth. These relationships are based on authenticity and mutual encouragement, not on approval or approval seeking. Being true to yourself allows you to connect more deeply and create a positive environment for both personal and shared success. The choice between improvement and approval often comes down to one simple question in moments of decision. What will serve me best in the long run? Approval might bring temporary comfort, but improvement builds lasting confidence and skills. Approval can keep you stuck. Improvement moves you forward. When you consistently choose improvement, you develop resilience against setbacks and rejection because your worth comes from inside. When you look back at your life, you'll realize the moments that shaped you were never about gaining others' approval. They were about the times you pushed yourself, learned something new, or overcame a challenge. Those moments created strength and wisdom that no amount of approval can replace. Living for improvement means creating a life of purpose and fulfillment that no outside opinion can shake. This mindset transforms how you approach every part of your life. Whether it's your career, health, relationships, or personal goals, improvement gives you a clear path. You stop guessing what others want from you and start building what you want for yourself. This clarity reduces anxiety and boosts motivation because your focus is on actions that directly benefit you. Choosing improvement over approval doesn't mean ignoring others or being rude. It means being honest and respectful while standing firm in your commitment to growth. You learn to say no without guilt and yes to challenges that help you evolve. You develop the confidence to speak your truth and make decisions aligned with your values. At its core, this choice is about self-love, loving yourself enough to want the best for your life, even if it means disappointing others. Loving yourself enough to keep learning, changing, and pushing forward, no matter the opinions around you. Loving yourself enough to believe that your progress matters more than anyone's approval. When you make improvement your priority, you build a foundation that no external force can shake. Your peace, purpose, and success come from a place of inner strength. Approval will always be out there, unpredictable and temporary, but improvement is yours to claim every day.